He did a lot of study. If you go in any bookstore right now and you look at the sections on psychology, on Freud, you'll see a section about like that. On fraud. But on Jung, you'll see just rows and rows of information. And I happen to be one of those guys that investigated Jung to some degree. Took some courses and went and did some stuff, paid a lot of money to learn how to do some of the stuff that he did with a 6th grade education. But he talks about a concept called shadow. And shadow, if you would imagine that the personality is divided into parts, and the shadow is the parts of the personality that one denies, represses, doesn't want, doesn't love, or in some cases projects onto something else or another. In other words, you ever seen anybody walk into a room and you say, I don't like her? You've never met her? Well, that's a form of shadow projection. Or if you may get a feeling or inclination about somebody that you may be attracted to. Never met them before. But you don't know if this person is worth your time in being attracted to. That's a shadow projection. Well, there are parts that are so cast off, that are so split off, that it's almost demonic. In other words, there are parts of ourselves, and when I'm saying demonic, I don't mean anything about the devil. That's not what I mean by demonic. It's just so unloved. Is that, here's a good example. You ever met anybody that never admit that they're wrong, and they're wrong often? And when you even call into their attention with overwhelming evidence, they are still in denial about being wrong. Yep. That's what I mean about a shadow that's so far back, so repressed, that the person won't acknowledge it. It is almost a pathology. And it's hard to deal with somebody who will never admit that they're wrong, and they really believe that now. Some people just lie about it. But some people, now that's what it gets crazy for you. Well, those are examples of shadows, and everybody has them. And they come with you wherever you go. And it starts when you're a little person, when those parts of yourself begin to show up that society deems unacceptable, that it doesn't want, then it tells you, you're not wanted like right here, that part of you, brother. And so you have to do something with it. And so you put it back here in shadow, and you forget about it. And then you forget that you forgot. And that's what we'll do with that forget that you forgot part. And your students, believe it or not, when they come to school, they already have the shadows. Because if they're dark-skinned and not attractive according to the standard of being attractive, or if they have non-rectilinear hair, your bad hair, you're down on Bill Street messing with people, bad hair. You know what I'm talking about? Nappy hair. Well, if they have that kind of hair, they've been told that something's defective about me. They're already bringing those feelings to school. And I know in Memphis City, in the city of Memphis, a lot of females have to suffer from that because they got too many beauty parlors here. And I know, I was a young person, I had aunts and girls around. I remember them going through the experience of that comb going through their hair and them screaming and hollering. And I would think, or you would think, that after such an experience, when they walk down the street, cars ought to be bumping into one another, hollering how beautiful they are, but they don't. And so something happens. If I go through all this transformation and I'm still not considered beautiful, then there's a part of me that's affected, so it means that I'm not acceptable. So I didn't take this part and I put it behind me. I forget about it and I forget that I forgot. And so you got all of this stuff. So when I've been sexually molested and I come to your schools, and there's a part of me that feels used and creepy and something's wrong with me because I have to be a thing now. I'm otherated. I take this part of me and I put it behind me and I forget about it and I forget that I forget. Or if I'm beaten till I bleed, I do the same thing. And so now we're getting this, I'm neglected, I'm abandoned. And this is what's coming to our schools, and I know this is what's coming to our schools. You see, you know why I know? Because I'm involved in an organization that deal with the adults after this has happened to them. So you can't lie to me about it. I've been doing it too long. They show up when they're grown, 40 years old, and they cry till snot comes out their nose because their mom and their dad had raped them or beat them or left them. And there's some witnesses here that work with me. We know better. We do it all over the country now. And everywhere we go, we find the same thing over and over.
When did you become white?
Long time ago.
How many years ago?
Long time ago.
70 years ago, 60 years ago, 50 years ago?
70.
70. Let's say you were born around that time, okay? You think you were born white, right? I will bet you a dime to the dollar that he did not find out he was white until somebody told him. Until he could speak English. And all you black folks who run around telling that you black, I bet you didn't find out that you were black until somebody told you you was black. And then me, when I was your age, when they told you you was black, they told me something, they told me I was colored. How many of y'all remember that? Let's get back to it a bit. You born colored too? In a colored hospital, huh? Right. Born in a colored hospital around town with a colored bank. All that's gone. Where'd it go? Oh, I know it became African American. How did it become African American? Come on, somebody tell me how did it become African American? Jesse Jackson said, I think y'all need to be called African Americans. Don't y'all remember that? See, because just before that you had been black. Now you hadn't been black long, but you struggled to become black. Then after you were black, then you wanted to become something else. They don't, but you had been colored. Well, you were Negro, something. Wait a minute, are you? Who's black? Somebody raise your hand who's black. Oh, now we got no black folks. I tell something. Okay. Did you grow up listening to some stuff about white people or Caucasians? How many of y'all actually have always heard the word, oh, what's that program to come on called Law and Order? 5'7", Caucasian. Haven't you ever heard that on Law and Order? What are they talking about when they say Caucasian? White people? She's shaking her head, yeah. How you know that? Somebody told you that, right? When did you look it up? Never did you? You know, I will bet you that none of you have ever bothered to look any of this stuff up. You've been running around all your life talking about, I'm this, I'm that, and you've never done any research to find out if this is actually what I am.